Okay, what is going on, tycoons? What's up, traders? For today's video, we're breaking down Chiliz, okay, CHZ. This one was a viewer request. I have been getting lots and lots of requests on Chiliz, and I've been putting out some videos at least like once a week on it. So we're not going to go too in depth on it, but I am going to show you guys the main levels that I'm watching, the strategies that I'm using, so that you guys as well can start to learn these strategies and implement them into the battlefield, okay, the battleground that is trading cryptocurrency. Trading is like going to battle, going to war. You need to have as many weapons at your disposal. You need to have the proper weapons, and you need to know how to use them to really increase your odds of success in the battlefield and really give yourself an edge. If you don't have an edge, you're going to continue to be unsuccessful. And so these are going to be some of the strategies that I use to help give myself an edge. We're going to take a look at the MACD. We're going to take a look at the relative strength index. And then we're also going to go over these yellow levels right here, the 38.2, the 50%, and the 61.8. These are the Fibonacci retracement levels. They're the three most important retracement levels that there is when it comes to trading. So you need to pay much attention to them, and you need to start using them if you're not. All right, so smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and we'll go ahead and jump straight into it. So the reason that we were looking at these three levels right here was because we were tracking this big uptrend, right? So we connected our swing low right here up to our swing high. And if we pulled back and held these three levels, we would have had a healthy retracement and a continuation upwards. And I said, if we break through these levels, then we're going to come down here, retest our breakout level to the downside, which is in blue. Okay. And we're going to head down lower towards our bearish price targets. Now, I'm pretty unbiased in my videos, so I also gave the breakout levels to the upside. And I really just wanted to show people what to look for and really how to start using these strategies. So to give you guys a few examples of the fib retracement levels and how they work, okay, we're going to go ahead and look in the past here. So we have our swing low connected up to our swing high right here. We come up, we pull back down, we retrace, get a healthy retracement, continue the trend upwards, and make a new high. All right. So that's why we look at the 38.2, the 50%, and the 61.8. It works for support and it works for resistance. Again, we connected the lows to the highs, we retraced, we held the 50% retracement level, and we continued and pushed up higher. Okay. Now, as I said, it works as resistance as well. So it's no secret that crypto has been a bear market this year. And, it's been a brutal crypto winter. So you can actually use this to track the major retracement levels to the upside as well. So we're connecting our swing high down to our swing low. We see we come down, we retrace, and look at where we get rejected, right at our 38.2 retracement level. Again, so the way it works is for resistance, if you get rejected here, most likely you're going to continue the downtrend, right? And on the uptrend, if you come up and hold those levels, all right, as support, you're going to continue the uptrend up. So you can use it to track, smaller micro moves, right? Like this one, and you can use it to track larger macro moves, such as this one, right? So that's basically the gist for the fib retracement levels, right? And that's one weapon that we're going to add to our arsenal belt. Okay, so we're looking at it right here. We're looking at the current levels, and sure enough, we did break through these levels, right? So we're going to take these off the screen now. All right, and we had our breakout levels to the upside and our breakout levels to the downside. We'll go ahead and get rid of this to the upside now. And what we're going to do is break down some of the other strategies that we use to really give ourselves an edge, right? And one of my favorite things to do is really to wait for multiple signals to align together, and that gives me more confidence. That can help give yourself more confidence, and so that way you're not blindly entering trades, just hoping things go up and down. And so if we take a look here, let's pay attention to these circles real quick, right? So we have what's known as a high right here, and then a higher high right here. Okay, so this token is clearly in an uptrend. We're going to look at our RSI now, which measures the relative strength of a token at its given price. Okay, so if a token is going up, the strength of this token should be going up as well. In fact, we have the opposite. We have what's known as a bearish divergence on our relative strength index. Okay, so a bearish divergence is when the token is going up and the relative strength index is going down, right? So we have a high here, and then we have a lower high right here instead of a higher high. That's an indicator that you may see some bearish activity. Okay, now if you look here at our MACD, all right, a sell signal on the MACD is going to be when this blue line crosses below this orange line. So if we look here, we have a bearish divergence. Okay, then we have a MACD sell signal. All right, and look at the big drop that ultimately ends up happening as a result. Okay. And it works multiple times, right? If we take a look right here, we have a high and then a higher high as well. Okay. So we're in an uptrend, right? The relative strength index is right here and a downtrend, creating that bearish divergence. Okay. And that happens right here. Very shortly afterwards, we get a MACD sell signal, and look, the price of the token drops dramatically. So that's really what I mean by combining these signals together. That's really what's going to help give you the edge. Okay, so we're seeing that we have a bearish divergence, and we're seeing we get a MACD sell signal. We're seeing we have a bearish divergence. We're seeing we have a MACD sell signal. Right now, you can also use it to the upside as well. And so we'll take a look at that. So right here, okay, we get a MACD buy signal. All right, it's going to be right here. At this point, we see the blue line cross above the orange line. So it's trading above the orange line now. That's your entry signal, right? But we want to wait to have multiple signals aligning, right? Because yeah, this was a nice little rally right here. Okay, and you could have used that for the MACD, all right, just off the MACD entry. But maybe you're not as confident, right? And you don't know that, all right, maybe just, you're not looking for just one signal, right? I always try to look for at least 2 to 3 things to be lining up in my favor, so that way I have more confidence, and your risk to reward is going to be a lot better, your risk to reward ratio. So here we have the opposite of bearish divergence. We have a bullish divergence. We have a low, okay, and then we have a lower low right here. Here we have a low, and then we have a higher low right here. So we already know that the MACD gave us our buy signal, and we see it's trading upwards, okay? And then we come down here and we get this big sell-off, right? After the bearish divergence, after the MACD sell signal. And what do we see? We actually see the relative strength index making a bullish divergence, okay? We have a low here, and then we have a higher low, right? And sure enough, after this big drop, we get a very big move to the upside, okay? Now, if we go over here, we can just take a look at some more examples in the past on every time that, things like this have occurred. Okay, so right here, we see we're getting a MACD buy signal. We're seeing it curl up above, right? You could use that as an entry, and there was a nice little rally there. Okay, but we actually made a bullish divergence again. We had a low, and then we had a lower low. We have a low here, and then we have a higher low right here. We see that the relative strength index is increasing. And again, what this means is that because it tracks the relative strength of the token, it means that the price of this token is going down, but the strength of this token is increasing. All right, so that's a bullish divergence. All right, we see the MACD actually right here. Shortly after we get our bullish divergence, we see we have another MACD buy signal, and it crosses back above. And that's when we really got the major rally, right? If we take a look, that was a huge move. From here's the MACD buy signal right after the bullish divergence, and this thing ended up running over 207%, right? We take a look over here, and we're seeing the same thing. Okay, we have a low, we have a lower low, right? The token's clearly in a downtrend. Price is going lower. Relative strength of the token is increasing. Right, we get our first MACD buy signal right here. We see it start trading up, and then ultimately it pulls back, right? And right here, shortly again, after the bullish divergence, we get a MACD buy signal, and the blue line crosses above the orange line. And that's when we see the much larger move, okay, versus this other move, right? So this other move off the MACD buy signal was nice, okay? That was about 35%. If we take a look at this one off of the bullish divergence combined with the MACD buy signal, right, this thing ended up rallying about 100%. So you see that, we're having these 100%, 200% moves off of, combining signals together versus just using one by itself. So that's pretty much it for today's video. Just wanted to go over some of the strategies that we're looking at. I'll go ahead and show you the levels that we're watching to the downside since we broke our 0.1447 resistance or support line. Right, we're most likely going to come back, retest this trend line right here that we've been holding for a while. All right, it's known as a break and retest. So what that would look like is something like this, right? So we have the trend line here, we have a break, retest, and then continue heading down lower. Okay, if we zoom in, we kind of already got our break and our retest, right? So we came down pretty low. We had this nice bearish engulfing candlestick. We came up, right? We got pretty close to that trend line. That may have been our retest. And if we continue this bearishness, we're going to be heading back down to 0.1027 on Chiliz, right? And so currently it's at about 12 cents a token. So that's close to, that's a pretty significant drop. Let's go ahead and measure that real quick. We can see to me, it's got about 14% more room to the downside. You know, and I think that a lot of this really could just be noise in between here, right? So in between this trend line here and in between this level here, I think it's going to be a lot of noise on the chart. Okay. But you can still use your strategies and your weapons to go ahead and find you know, good entries and good exits, right? So what that would mean is that you take a look at your MACD. You want to see, all right, is the MACD going to start curling upwards, right? Is it going to curl above this orange line? That's an entry signal. We have our relative strength indexes all the way down here below 30, all right, which that typically means it's oversold. So what would be nice is if we could get something like this, right? And this is how a bullish divergence would form. If the token keeps dropping, right, and then it gets a pop, and then it actually comes down lower again, right, you'll see the relative strength index. It could do something like this, where it goes like this, boom. And then now we have that bullish divergence to the upside, right, while the token is in that bearish downtrend. So that's how a bullish divergence could form. If we see a bullish divergence form, and then we get our MACD to cross back above this orange line right here and do something like this, then that could be, you know, your possible next signal to get into Chiliz and look to try to capture some of the possible bullish momentum. Thanks for watching the video. Smash the like button and subscribe. Okay, none of this is financial advice. This is all just informational, right? And really just showing you guys some of the tools and strategies that I use. And I do viewer requests every single week. So if you want to see your ticker in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below, and I'll be happy to get to it as soon as I can.